What's up, guys? I'm your host of the Surviving the Flame podcast. It's your boy, Tavion Mickens. Now, before we go ahead and get started and everything, I do want to let everyone know, first and foremost, thank you so much just for coming back, running it back with us, man, and coming back to the podcast to enjoy this amazing new episode in a new season, and it's a new year. All right, so we're starting off strong. We're starting off with another banger, another amazing podcast host that we've already had on the podcast before, but I'm sure you guys are going to grow to love it. All right, so once again, thank you guys so much just for being a part of this team, being part of this crew, and being part of our audience, man. So first things first, like, comment, share. Like I say in many other episodes, either with your broke best friend or your rich family member, whichever one comes first, man. And enjoy the flame. Keep it lit. Always spread kindness and grind always. Let's get to it. Here's the previews from our previous conversation. And then I got my acceptance letter, something that I had literally dreamed about, and it just didn't feel right. And I had to really like listen to that intuition. I had to listen to that thought. I had to listen to those feelings and be like, nah, like I really feel like this is God trying to let me know, like I'm not supposed to be here. Like I'm not, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was hard, bro. Like it wasn't an easy transition. It wasn't an easy pill to swallow. Like, but sometimes like we all have to understand and we have to see that like, just because you want it doesn't mean that that's what God wants for you. And sometimes it's gonna take you having to make a pivot, or it's gonna take you having to make a detour or whatever to get to the garden of flowers versus just this little bouquet that you're looking at.
Because I was just talking to my dad today. I was like, when you get married, you really have no clue what's coming. Like, I don't think most people could look down the line for a year to 25 years and be like, yeah, we saw all of these things coming. And I think that's what like people are fearful of. They're like, oh, it's going to be hard because of what we're encountering. But it's really just making sure that you're not allowing yourself and letting other aspects of life get in the way of the life that you're building together.
Now you're having to be like, okay, well now I have to think about said person. I have to think about my person. I got to think about my kid. Now I got to think about our family, our unit. Now I have to think about all these other kind of things. And it's just like, it's not easy. It's not easy. And a lot of people can't wrap their head around that. You know, I think that like in being someone who has been on the cusp of having a divorce, being a person who has, you know, planned a child, and then like when their child was approaching getting here, being so afraid that like they started to regret the decisions that they made, being someone that has enjoys the joys of being a dad, but like also like having to make constant sacrifices, you know, all these other kind of things, you know, like I can confidently, it's not easy, bro. It's not easy in the slightest, but at the same time, it's so worth it at the end of the day for those moments that you get to look back on and be like, dang, like I remember when, you know. All right, family, welcome back to another episode of Surviving the Flame. If you enjoyed that preview, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so we can keep this flame burning together. Now let's get into today's conversation. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, greetings and salutations, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, humans of all ages and stages, and even the ones making minimum wages. Welcome back to another episode of Surviving the Flame, where we have lit conversations with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And happy freaking New Year, man! Happy freaking New Year as we head into our first interview of our new season of the year, man. Our guest today is no stranger to the SCF experience. You know what I'm saying? She is. Our guest today is no stranger to the SCF experience and someone who has been a huge inspiration for the growth of this podcast. She's a teacher, a trainer, a positive light in any room that she walks into, and most importantly, in my opinion, she's a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's always going after it and has always a lot, always doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you don't know, you're about to find out. So welcome to the SCF experience. Once again, Miss Caira Scott. Bada boom.
Woo!
Whoop whoop. All right, man.
Yeah, y'all made it 2026. And a lot of things
2026,
didn't.
man.
A lot of things didn't make it to 2026. So
You hear me? You
we're
hear
here,
me?
we're here. We did it.
Oh, for real, for real. So, we already know where you're from. You know what I'm saying? We've been down this road before, but we do have some new updates that you can share with us. You know what I'm saying? Some big news that you just posted on IG not too long ago. So let us know, man. What is the news? What was the big thing? The newest title, might I add, that you have to your name now.
Huh? Are you are you talking about the fact that I got married?
Got married.
For real.
Woo!
I'm a like,
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what we talk about for sure.
yes, my name. Well, I'm scared. I guess I can say my full name. I mean, if y'all try to come and if y'all try to steal my identity, God's gonna get you. But my name is Caira E. I'm not gonna tell you the name. J. Not gonna tell you the name. Scott-Young. So I have a hyphenated name for now.
No, for
It's
sure, for
pretty
sure, for
long. It's
sure,
pretty
man.
long.
It's all good. So, a question I do have for you is: many people looking to look at a wedding day as like a culmination of things, and many look at it as like the very begin. And more people who are like more seasoned in marriage and stuff like that look at it as like the beginning of a new chapter or beginning of something new. How would you describe your journey to now being married?
Well, it's actually very interesting that you asked that because I'm still learning with what that looks like for me. It's been a very emotional ride, I would say. Especially for the timing and the place that I was at and I am at in my life when all these things were unfolding. You seen Stranger Things?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it.
And
Whoa, whoa, wait, wait. I
you know,
haven't, I haven't caught all the way up. I haven't caught all the
so
way up.
you
But
know who
yeah, I've seen it.
Steve is, right?
Yeah.
And you know how he's actually like a singer. He made a song called "End of Beginnings," and like for a while, I was just playing that on repeat, and I was trying to figure out why I was like so connected to that song. So I asked ChatGPT and my therapist, and we were undiving like the different layers of like for the song is based about like when he goes back to Chicago, he remembers the person he was like when he left, like life was only what he knew up to that point, and he made the sacrifice of leaving the known to step into the unknown and uncertainty to discover different layers of himself and give him space and capacity to grow. So for me to return back to Tallahassee, and especially with the specifics of my situation where like I'm working for a company that I lived at like when my parents split, and I actually live at one of their complexes where I grew up at, and like there's other even more developments where that's overlapping, and just the simple fact of being in Tallahassee and like people wanting to be my clients, me trying to figure out what gym I want to go to based on what I was doing and where I want to go. It can be overwhelming to like a nervous system that is like healing through trauma,
Yeah.
and like what my body wants to associate with my environment and my surroundings versus like what I'm telling myself and what I'm choosing to believe as I'm walking forward in things. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? What is some love advice you'd give someone looking to get married in the future, whether they're in a relationship or not in a relationship?
Mm, I think there's a couple things I would say, but I want it to be a good one, so bear with me, folks.
Nah, you
Yeah.
good, you good.
Okay.
Take your time.
Hmm. I think for me, it goes back to like who made marriage, which is God. What was his intent for marriage? And then understanding that marriage is just a different version of a continuous process. Like for me, going back to the end of a beginning, it's like for me, I'm coming not to the end of myself, but the end of like the consideration for only myself. And like yes, we think about oh, like what do they want the room to look like? What do we want to eat for dinner? Like I wonder if they would like to do this. I wonder if they would like to do that. But a lot of people focus on like completing and compromising. I like to focus on complementing and collaborating. And in
Mm,
that way, I'm like, well, as much as I know this does work in whatever mind frame I'm in, because sometimes we're delusional and the things that work for us are just the things we've normalized.
yeah.
And marriage unlocks that too. But it's like, okay, I know what works for me. What do I know about this person and what could work for them, or at least in what they're asking for? And how can we co create a system and an environment and a solution that comes to the benefit of the team? And does that
Mm, okay.
mean the goal that we've set to be the objective for the day or for the longevity, does that need to be like readjusted? Because I was just talking to my dad today. I was like, when you get married, you really have no clue what's coming. Like, I don't think
No
most
clue at all.
people could look down the line for a year to 25 years and be like, yeah, we saw all of these things coming. And I think that's what like people are fearful of. They're like, oh, it's going to be hard because of what we're encountering, but it's really just making sure that you're not allowing yourself and letting other aspects of life get in the way of the life that you're building together to sustain something bigger than yourselves. I think people get caught up in themselves and then they get caught up in what they're trying to build, and then they're so focused in like whatever's happening at that level that we're forgetting to bring God into the situation and ask like what are you even using this small selection of our lives to be impacting other people with. And that's how I can at least foresee how some marriages don't reach their fullest potential. And
Absolutely.
that's like with me like 30 days, 32 days in.
No, I definitely feel that. I feel like a lot of people don't reach that full potential because like you have to understand that like when you get married, bro, like you're in it for the long haul. Like you're gonna have a fight. You know what I'm saying? Not like just like between each other, but like you're gonna have to fight for each other. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some late nights, some early mornings. You know what I'm saying? And like God willing or God forbid, like you have a kid in the mix. You know what I mean? Like it just makes, I don't want to say it makes it even more harder, but it makes the fight harder because now you have something even more, like you're adding onto the plate of things that are bigger than just yourself. You
Mhm.
know, we for the most part, the average person now today's age probably gets married around like 26, 27. So
Mhm.
you probably been dating that person since you were probably like, on average, most people get married around like 5 to 8 years. So you've probably been married to them since you were like, what, like 24, 25 years old. Maybe a little bit before that. Or not 24, 25, probably
I was
like
like,
20
I'm
years
not gonna
old.
lie, bro. You
That
lost me
math was off. That
with
math was off.
that. Hey, yo.
Math was off. Now probably since like, like 20 years old or something like that. So you go the first like basically like your childhood, you know what I'm saying? You go like your whole childhood into early adulthood without like just taking care of yourself. Just taking care of yourself and just just it just being you to now like you're having to Now you're having to be like, okay, well, now I have to think about said person. I have to think about my person. I got to think about my kid. Now I got to think about our family, our unit. Now I have to think about all these other kind of things. And it's just like, it's not easy. It's not easy. And a lot of people can't wrap their head around that, but, yeah, man, I think that like in being someone who has been on the cusp of having a divorce, being a person who has, had planned a child, and then like when their child was approaching getting here, being so afraid that like they started to regret the decisions that they made, being someone that has enjoys the joys of being a dad, but like also like having to make constant sacrifices, all these other kind of things, like I can confident it's not easy, bro. It's not easy in the slightest, but at the same time, it's so worth it at the end of the day for those moments that you get to look back on and be like, dang, like I remember when, blase, blase, blah. And you get to say that like you and your person like made it on the other side of it. Marriage is a beautiful thing when you really look at it, but the fight itself is very similar to a roller coaster, if I may say the least, in my opinion. But our next question here: last time that you were here, spoke very highly on your relationship and how strongly you are towards your growth and everything with God, but also mentioned how you have had so much more to do and a lot of growth in that field as well of getting closer to God. I just want to know how has the journey been for you since our last conversation as far as you getting close to God?
So first of all, my nose itches. So I'm not picking my boogers, everybody. I just wanted to get that out the way. I just washed my
No, I'm
face
good.
and everything's itchy. I feel like my relationship with God could be better, primarily because I do want more community and better accountability for where I'm trying to go. I think we all have the tendency to self sabotage at times, and it's good to have people who can hold up a mirror to ourselves when we get too busy or too stubborn to look at it ourselves. And like even now, I've missed church the last couple of weekends trying to get other things in order, and I'm like, God, am I not prioritizing you? Like, am I not doing enough? But I have to understand that my relationship with God can look the same because he's the same, but be expressed very differently in various seasons. And the most important part for me is not to get caught up in how it's different, but making sure that when he changes and goes to the next season, I go to. And I think
Absolutely.
that's my focus right now is just making sure I'm staying wherever God's at. Like maybe I'm not doing everything I need to do, and maybe there's a lot of things I can improve on, and maybe there's some things I'm doing great. But I don't want to get so focused in building things in certain spots when he's moved on to the next thing.
How do you know when God has left, or how do you know when God is trying to lead you away from something, but you yourself still want to be there? Like, what exactly does that look like? If you can dive into it a little bit.
I feel like it can look a lot of different ways depending on what it is. Cause, sometimes for me, it's always definitely like a wrestling. Like sometimes I know before I know. And then like, like you ever walk and you see something and it's like, it looks like someone just, and then you're like,
Yeah.
but you're like, well, I still have this other place to go. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna catch up with you later. And then you look a little lost. And then he's like, I'm here. And like, you're just like, it's just better to leave when your partner leaves and make sure you're in your ride than trying to catch up on the back end and get to where you
Yeah.
need to go.
So do you feel like it's more like internal, or do you feel like do you feel like it is when I say internal, do you feel like it's more of a something that you feel like in your gut or in your heart like yo, like I shouldn't be here, or do you feel like it's like there are legit signs to let you know that like hey, this crowd isn't for you, this environment isn't for you. This was nice for the moment, but your time is now up. Like do you feel like there are like physical signs, or is it all like just a communication between you and God?
I feel like in most cases, for me, I'm gonna know internally before I know externally, and then I'm gonna start receiving confirmations. Now, sometimes you get a sneak peek, and you'll
Yeah,
be
I
like,
agree.
that was a little weird," and then you get the hindsight, and you're like, you're piecing things together, and you're like, "Okay, now it's definitely time to go." I think it just depends on what God's cultivating and developing you in that season, because sometimes He wants you to be quick in your obedience, and sometimes He wants you to be more enduring in your trust.
Very true.
And while those can be the same thing in different seasons, sometimes they're two completely different things, as in one's like be more action oriented and one's be more still.
Got it. Yeah, and I completely agree. I feel like when it comes to for example, I got accepted to my dream school. I won't put the name out there, but I got accepted into my dream school. And man, I've wanted to go to this school since I was like 16, bro. Like, and I finally got accepted into the school. Dream program, everything. Like almost every person that I look up to as far as like my dream career and things like that all graduated from this. Like I'm like, yo, like this is it. I go to the school. I do a couple, tours at the school and everything. I walk around the school like after what's it called? Not after hours. Like after the semester is over, no one's there. No one's there, just walking around. Um, and I'm like, I feel so like I don't want to say at home, but like if it's like like a dream like feeling, and I'm like, man, like this is beautiful, this is awesome. And then I finally got to a point where I was walking and during the tour, and something about that tour just didn't feel right. Like the feeling that I initially had when I first walked on the campus, I was like, man, like this is great. And then when I did the tour, it didn't feel right. And then I did another tour and it didn't feel right. And then I got my acceptance letter, something that I had literally dreamed about, and it just didn't feel right. And I had to really like listen to that intuition. I had to listen to that thought. I had to listen to those feelings and be like, nah, like I really feel like this is God trying to let me know like I'm not supposed to be here. Like I'm not, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was hard, bro. Like it wasn't an easy it wasn't an easy transition. It wasn't an easy pill to swallow. Like, but sometimes like we all have to understand and we have to see that like just because you want it doesn't mean that that's what God wants for you. And sometimes it's gonna take you having to make a pivot, or it's gonna take you having to make a detour or whatever to get to like the garden of flowers versus just this little bouquet that you're looking at. You know what I mean? So definitely felt. And speaking of like while we're on the topic of 20, well, my 2025, but while we're on the topic of 2025, you know, everyone talks about 2025 like it was the absolute worst thing to ever happen to anyone. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of ups, there were a lot of downs in political world, in social media, in celebrity life, and like and even in some people's personal life. Like you may have lost somebody that you cared about, you may have had a bad breakup, you may have had, all these other kind of things, but I want to know from you first, what was one battle you truly had to fight in 2025? Like something that like you look back on and it was like, yo, like this was hard, whether it be a relationship with family, whether it be with your significant other, your husband now, whether it be with um a best friend, whether it be even like within yourself. What was a fight that you really had to like go at it in 2025?
I mean, there was definitely quite a few. I didn't think there was a possibility in my mind that I wasn't getting married. I was like, I don't know anymore. And then there was the aspect of family, like, am I just gonna have to cut my family completely off when I make it? Or, like, am I gonna be able to, like, slowly find ways to work things out? And then there was also the aspect of, like, believing that I can do things differently. Like, different isn't wrong, it's just different. And just learning to thrive and not survive.
I think there's another thing that you mentioned, like when you make it, what does you making it look like to you? Like, like you made it in life when this. And did that is this, and when you answer that, is that something that is new since becoming a wife, or is this something that has always been within you and you're like, no, like when I get to this point, this is how I know I have made it.
Well, you played the video game It Takes Two?
Oh my god, I love that game. I love that game. I played
Yeah,
it with my wife.
I'm hoping like at some point in my day. I'm hoping at some point in my day I'll be able to get to play. And yeah, guys. Cause I got volleyball after this. I'm like I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm like
No, I feel
my
you.
day off has not really been a full day off, but it's been something, and I appreciate that. But
For sure.
for me, making it doesn't mean like I've learned that making it doesn't have to be like an end point. It's like just different levels, and I want to know like how many levels I can make it. It's like Candy Crush, like it just keeps going.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
I
feel
don't
that.
know. I don't know when it ends. It ends when I stop, and if I can keep going, then there's still new levels to obtain.
I feel that. I love that. I love that answer. That's a great answer. Um,
Cause I was like, I mean, I just wanted to make it from the level I was at. I had no car, no home, no job.
yeah. Man, you've had so much growth. You've had
Hey,
so
y'all, I'm
much
not
growth.
bald no more.
Yeah, hit me, bro. Like you had so much growth since 2025, bro. Honestly, really, bro. Like since the pandemic, if we can keep it a buck, like you've had so
Yeah.
much growth. Like, dog, you've had to fight. You've had to fight, G, and like between all this, all the moving between, up and down with family, up and down in your personal life, relationship life. I know it had to be there, like all your relationship with God. Like there has been so much growth for you, and I mean, I think that deserves to be acknowledged. But I just want to let it be known here on the platform, bro. Like I'm extremely proud of you. I'm extremely proud of you mainly because you're doing something that not a lot of people do, and that's fight back. Like a lot of people, like they see the situation that they're in, and sometimes it could be very crippling, very intimidating, and you're just gonna be like, nah, like I'm gonna just roll over. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a like it's already as big as it's gonna get. I'm not at that height yet. I'm just gonna but no, like you decide to fight back every single time, and like sure, like for you, you may look at it like, yeah, what I'm saying, like this is just stuff that I do, but I don't like a lot of people don't make it out that fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't make it out of that fight with themselves, especially. And for you to have had so many battles with, whether it be with depression or anxiety or any other things, like, and then you just keep coming back, like that's truly, truly, honestly amazing. And speaking of 2025, while we're on the subject and on the past in general, as we look back at 2025, while it may have had some hands, you know what I'm saying, while I may have, put up a good match or whatever, it wasn't all bad, man. So I want to know, like, what was one moment in 2025 that was truly a highlight for you that you'll never forget?
I think I was finally getting used to living in Miami. Like for the first half of me living there, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to be here." I was wearing the same clothes every day. It was hot. I was sweaty. Like I had no friends. I didn't know what I was doing. And that was like the hard part of making such like a big transition with the pit stop at that because you remember I was in
Hmm.
Atlanta.
Right, right.
I'm just like I actually really like Miami. I'm still hoping that if it's within the Lord's will, I get my grandma's house. I get to do something with that. And I'm hoping that at some point I can visit in 2026 because there's a lot more that I wanted to do while I was there, but I never imagined myself living in Miami because I was always like it's too expensive, but like that's what happens when you do things on the Lord's budget
There you
and
go.
he uses people to be of assistance in your journey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the podcast where we have rapid fire questions that have to be answered as quickly as possible, called questions from the
The
fire
fire
pit.
pit.
I'm gonna throw some questions at you, and you have to just answer them as fast as you can. All right, so let me know. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I can be.
And honestly, that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for. But first question from the fire pit is, what is the truth you've recently had to accept? So I'll let it be known, I don't really think this is all the way fair. I feel like some of these questions are like really hard and they can't be answered very fast.
No, so I got one. I got one. I feel like
Oh,
I'm learning
say
how to
less.
people, like I'm learning the phrase let them and let me. I'm gonna let them do what they want to do, what they decide to do, what they think is best. And I'm gonna let me decide how I'm gonna respond and move according to my needs and what I believe is best for my future. And like that's been very difficult because like sometimes I'm like, why did people do this? Okay, well, maybe in reality, like as much as it made me feel this way, like that's what they wanted to do with their information. And maybe in reality, I need to look at myself and understand that maybe I didn't pour as much into that situation or make as many deposits, or maybe I just had no business being involved in that at all. So I can't be offended. I'm learning to be less offended. I'm learning to let people decide for themselves and pay attention to their decisions. And then I'm allowing myself the same freedom to make my own decisions as I'm allowing people to make their own decisions in general, because you can control yourself, and the rest you got to let go. And as somebody who struggles with anxiety at times, it feels like control is safety, but in reality, control just makes you a prisoner because you really don't have as much control as you think. And that's why it's better to just let God do what he's trying to do. But the crazy part about it is God has many ways he does things and he speaks and executes. So like, you just gotta be locked in. Honestly,
I love that answer. That was a bomb answer. Bet that. Okay. Next one. What's a moment that changed the way that you see the world?
I think when I was just sitting in Miami by myself and I was like, why? Like, what is life gonna be at this point? And it was like, wow, like it doesn't have to be whatever was handed to me. It can be whatever I create it to be.
Clock it. All right. What's something that you wish more people understood about you?
I wish that more people understood that most of the time the things that I'm saying has nothing to really do with them. It's me teaching them about myself. And it's giving them the opportunity to decide if they want to deal with it or not. So I can make my decisions next.
Okay, okay. I'm rocking with it. I'm rocking with it. What's something that that was a dope answer. Wow. All right. What's something that you have forgiven but you haven't forgotten?
Mm, Shoot, a lot of things. Like, I don't even know if I would even want to specifically name like one thing that's been done, because a lot of the things that I've endured allow me to perceive future situations very differently. Because I'm not going to just, like, if I go through something and I do the necessary work to move on from it and gain the most that I can from that experience within time, that means realistically, the next time I encountered a similar situation or someone else's situation, like I have better feedback that I can provide. So I typically don't forget much at all because something so small can be so big to me. But I do try to like not allow that to enable me to retain traumatic experiences in my body where I continue to relive them.
Fire. Next question is, what's a scar, either physical or emotional, that tells your story?
My husband and I were moving into our apartment and we were not in the best mind frame or in the best communication way. And he literally dropped a dresser on my ankle on accident as we were carrying it upstairs. I won't go into the details of that, but For me, I was just pissed off because it was just like, bro, like this was preventable. Like it's just like some of those things in marriage when you realize like you're really a liability or an asset to somebody, and like you're gonna bear each other's burdens and bear each other's scars and bear each other's wins and joys. And like in that moment, while we were stepping into this new chapter of like beginning this new phase of living, even though he didn't move in immediately, like I still lived here for about 2 months by myself. Like I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's been healing. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be here forever. It's so ugly. I couldn't work out on it. I couldn't run. And slowly I've been having to like strengthen my ankle and do stretches and allow the skin to heal. And it's just like, not that necessarily like time heals wounds, because I know I have like white blood cells and things in my body working together
Right.
to heal me. There is
Yeah.
active work being done, but like scars scars can look differently over time. They don't always have to look exactly the same.
Very true. That's very true. Um, if your life were a book, what would this chapter be called?
Mm, tidal waves.
Tidal waves. Why?
Because my
Yeah.
therapist today told me I was kind of like in a rip current. She was saying that if I continue to make the deposits towards the system and the life I'm creating, once it's functional and maintaining itself, or there's not as much effort I need to put in to maintain it, I will be living a better quality life. So I'm looking forward to those days. But for now, I'll work with what I got.
There you go. There you go. And while we're on this topic, you mentioned therapy. Yeah, no, therapy isn't a bad thing, people. Therapy is not a bad thing. If you need some help, if you find yourself in a bind or in a situation or in a part of life that's like hard for you to manage or hard for you to get out of or whatever the case may be, like don't let nobody else tell you that therapy is lame or something like that, or like you don't need it. If you need it, if you feel like you need it in order to get to the other side or something, bro, go get some help, man. Go get some help. You know what I'm saying? I would rather, like one of my friends, I rather one of my friends let me know that, they understand and they know that there is something within themselves that's not okay and they are going to go get help, than rather me having to carry their casket or lay flowers at their grave. You know what I'm saying? Like if you need help, let this be your sign to actually go get it. You know what I'm saying? This new year, and this is the time where you need to be feeding into yourself instead of like new year, new me. No, feed into the current person that you are right now. Replenish the current person that you are right now, and get the help that you need. All right. So next question, final question, is final question for the fire pit. What's something that you're currently having to unlearn?
Mm, 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 mm. Over explaining.
Mm, I feel I might.
I said what I said the first time, and I know for me and my communication style, it was clear, it was cut, and it was dry. And if
Mhm.
anything, I'll give you round two with elaboration and description and clarification. But at that point, like, I need people to retain what I'm saying. And if y'all don't remember what I said to ask me, I'll remind you. But tired of over explaining myself. People know what they do. They remember what you said. I'm the type of person, I say outlandish things. It's kind of hard to forget what I really said. So
And I feel that. I think one of mine is I I over explain, but that's because like I don't allow my nose to be nose. And that's something I'm trying to like understand like right now. Like I don't allow my nose to be nose. I don't allow my like no is a full sentence. Like it's a reason, it's an explanation. Like it is what it is. My problem is I don't know how to just let that be that, because like I'm like a people pleaser at heart, so I'm always trying to make sure that like no bridges are burned and this that and the other blah 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 blah. But like sometimes like we don't understand that like the more that we keep that bridge up, some people may be sending dogs on the other side to come tear you up. You know what I'm saying? Or be sending, bad energy or bad people like across this same bridge that you just refuse to burn. So that way they they're in a position to keep taking and ruining because you don't want to just keep it real and just do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, that's something that I'm trying to do. Trying to do is just say no. You know what I'm saying? People need to have all that. But
I
exiting out of questions for the what's up?
Yeah, yeah, you be quiet. I think
My bad, my bad. First mission.
I think this is more about, it's not even about your no being no. It's more about like you understanding why you made the decision you made and being okay like with that being a valid enough reason. Like it
Yeah.
may not be a right reason, it may not be the wrong reason, but like in your thought process with like if you actually took the time to think about it, whatever you decided that was ration, you applied rational thought to it and just being okay with it being what it is without allowing the extra information. Like I'm one of those people, I prepare for the worst and wish for the best. So like I have everything prepared in between. And like there's a beautiful aspect of that, but I'm also just like, okay, well, you know what? If that's how it goes, then like what can we do to preserve our assets? And I don't want to say it like in like a self-preservation type of way, but it's just like
Yeah.
for whatever you're doing to allow you to have something to withdraw from the next day or for the remainder of what you're completing, that's important.
Very true. Very, 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 very true. And actually, speaking on like that topic in a way, as far as like self-preservation and taking care of yourself and things like that, like one could associate that with like aspirations, if you will. So like when we talk about your fitness journey, how has fitness in this part of your life like elevated you, if you will, or like, most people look at the gym as something that is a lifesaver or their form of therapy, but like, how has the gym continued, whether it be as a trainer or whether it be um, as a trainer and influencer, if you will, like a mentor, how has being in the gym or being part of that gym culture helped you?
I can actually tell you how it hasn't helped me because I haven't been able to do
Let's
it. Like I've been working two jobs and then I'm coaching and like putting wear and tear on my body and movements I don't typically do anymore. So for me, I think it goes back to like what people like understand what the purpose of the gym is. Either people are going for a lifestyle or they're going for performance. And I think I've shifted from my gym life being based on performance and what I needed to do, I like solely to like it being preservation of my body and what I need. Like I work a desk job now. My back hurts. So like cuz I'm not engaging my core and lifting weights as much. So for me, I had to like prioritize movement and being able to maintain my movement and my mobility. So as I transition back into like whatever I need, whether it's for performance or whether it's for preference or it's for preservation, I still have the ability to do that because I am recognizing as I'm getting older or like my life is transitioning to different phases, the difficulty it is for my body to maintain itself in certain ways when I'm not being consistent in that.
Yeah, facts. That's true. That's very, very true. Especially when it comes to gym culture, like you got to be consistent with it. If you're not, you can go ahead and like whatever progress you have, hey, bro, just know it's finna leave very soon. Um, I did ask this question last time, and we didn't really have much of an answer for it, but I want to see like where we can take it this time. Now we all have those people in our life who inspire us, or who we all have that version of ourselves that we chase. But when you look in the mirror, who is the person that you hope to never be?
I guess there's two people. I guess I never want to be like Saul, where I think like doing most of what's required me is enough. But I also
Saul, like Saul, First Samuel Saul, like who, like, or Saul, like other King Saul.
can't not like Saul who became Paul, like first
Oh,
king of
like first.
Israel.
Yeah, because like he had his job and then he wasn't listening and then God got on him and then he was hating on David and David wasn't even king yet. Like
David,
they
yeah,
could
David wasn't
they
even
could
king
have
yet.
been homies, but Saul was tripping and then he was insecure and we don't have time for that. So I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be a hater. I want to be a help.
Right,
But
no
I
facts.
also don't want to be like the type of person where I'm like Lot's wife and I'm like so stuck in my past that like I never look
Yeah.
forward.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. That
No,
was deep.
that was
Yeah.
it. Like it spoke for itself. Like y'all read your
Yeah,
Bible.
no, it really did.
Read your
It really did.
Bible.
Read your Bible, people. If y'all don't know what we talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's Lot is in Genesis, right?
I would hope so. It seemed to
Yeah,
be
I
at the
believe
very
Lot is in
beginning.
Genesis. But I know for sure that the story that we were talking about before, King Saul who wanted to kill David, along with the story of David and Goliath. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. If you guys don't know, read the book of First Samuel. It has so many gems related to insecurities, related to insecurities and how not to deal with them. Deals a lot with, you know, the power of God. And really leaning on him. And also my favorite part of that entire book is the story of friendship between Jonathan and David. So if you guys don't know, man, First Samuel has so many gems in it, so many gems. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10. But as we get ready to close out things, Kyra, I just have one last question for you. What is next for Miss Kyra Scott?
Honestly, guys, I'm hoping to go on a honeymoon and a couple vacations. A lot of people are like, I don't know how your finances are gonna do it, but I don't know how I've made it this far. So
Facts.
why limit myself to my reality when I have a God that's so much bigger than all of it?
Clock it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see
But
the world so I can come back with like new, fresh ideas and perspectives to bring back to my everyday life. We don't travel so we can brag about the places we've been. We travel to experience new environments so we have something better to give.
another gem on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said it before and I will say it again. This episode was truly nothing short of amazing, spectacular, if you will.
And check
But
out Unsilenced Truths. I keep forgetting
I
about my
was
own
just
podcast,
about
bro.
to put it on the map. I got you, twin. I
I
got
was like, wait, I
you.
never even said who I am and how I got
Yeah.
here. I realized that. I was like, wait, my
I Man, look, man. Hey, if it's two things you need to check out, number one is that Bible, First Samuel. All right. Number two is check out Unsilenced Truths, man. Y'all can check them out at the same time, honestly. Actually, no, give God your full attention. Give God your full attention. What's your number three?
LPD coaching, my training page
For sure, for sure. And where can they find it?
on Instagram. That's all.
At LPD Coaching.
Yep, at LPD coaching stands for love, power, and discipline.
Y'all heard it, man. Y'all heard it. Go ahead and lock in, get yourself an appointment, get everything that you need to get done. Hey, bro, it's new year, bro. It's new year. If you have not, if you've stopped going to the gym and stuff like that, look, it's still January. You can get back to it. You can get back to it. I believe in you. You can do it. You can do it. You know what I'm saying? But um, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it again, man. More heat, more flames, more resilience, more inspiring stories, man. And from none other than Miss Kyra Young Scott or Scott Young.
Scott Young. See, I was like,
Scott
he's about to
Young.
throw out my new name. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, bro, I wanted to put respect on it, you know. So,
I feel
um,
Hispanic. Like I feel like I got like the two names going on. Oh gosh, I'm
hey,
Latina.
Um, we have once again brought an amazing talent, a true woman of her faith, and so much more to the FEF experience. But unfortunately, this brings us to the end, to the close of another amazing episode of Surviving the Flame. Kyra, honestly, truly, thank you. Thank you for once again bringing your love and stories and everything else to the podcast. It is overly appreciated. And like, honestly, I'm so grateful because like it's your inspiration and your podcast and your conversation that you have with others that has inspired me to keep going in my podcast and everything. So honestly, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Um, if you had to leave one more thing with the people, a couple words of wisdom, what would that be?
Mm, it would be brick by brick. And sometimes you got to make your bricks. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to get the bricks and then build it. Sometimes you got to make your bricks and then start stacking. So don't wait till tomorrow. Start today.
It, all right. So, and with that being said, if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment, like, share, and rate this episode. Um, Also, make sure to make your way to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Instagram. Type in Surviving the Flame and Unsilenced Truth, and follow both of our podcast pages. And just know, man, it's nothing but love, peace, prosperity, man. We love you guys. This is Surviving the Flame. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for the support and always tuning into your favorite podcast geared towards helping people through tough times with tough conversations. Thank you all. And as always, spread kindness. This is Surviving the Flame. See you next time.